Well, it seems we're about at a halfway point, as we're here once again for the 12 days of Christmas. Day 6. Alright. Shall we just get into it? Once again, we join the thoughts of Detective Tannenbaum on the 6th day of Christmas. There was a break by mid-morning. The call came from the labs to let me know that they had found an old file that matched the fingerprints lifted from the list that I had found. I had a name. Jonathan Smith, Jr. was my suspect's name. He was 21 years old and lived in the city. A warrant was easily obtained, and we were soon on our way to capture our most likely suspect in the case. The apartment building was a wreck, with crumbling walls and peeling paint on the rails up the steps. It seemed the perfect place for a psychopath to reside. Sadly, the apartment itself was void of anyone, much less our subject. Instead, we found not a note on the front door that simply read, "No, not yet, you don't." Inside, the apartment was strangely immaculate. It was odd, but I had really expected the place to look more like an insane person's home. Instead, the place was clean and well decorated. It was definitely a very male-looking home, though. I checked the address one more time just to make sure I was totally convinced that I had been at the correct address. My cell phone rang as I was looking out the windows. There were planter benches that held a variety of plants, adding a bit of green to the room even. I answered my cell phone and sighed in disgust to find out that my suspect had claimed his next victims. Again, I was heading out to a poultry farm. This time, it was a farm that raised geese. Sure enough, the suspect had broken into a coop and killed 6 geese that were resting on nests. The farmer was infuriated that it had happened. He'd been following the story in the news about the 12 days of Christmas killer, and he had evidently called the police for surveillance. The police had never responded to it. I apologized, even though it wasn't my problem, since I never got the call about the farm. I just got cursed at before I left. I wanted to forget about the whole day. First, though, I made sure that surveillance on the suspect's apartment was there, but I knew it was a pointless venture since the suspect knew we were on to him. I shook my head as I left the apartment for the 2nd time that day. Not much else to do while the officers searched the place for clues, but head home and try to get some sleep. Well, Jonathan Smith, Jr. Bit of a clever one, I will say. That's the end of today's piece of the story with Detective Tannenbaum, and, well, I suppose I'm going to sign off one more time. And I'll see you all tomorrow for part 7 of the 12 days of Christmas murders. You guys have a good night.